Very good, friends. Doc South for the Newton Theater. Yes, the Newton Theater. A wonderful place to go. And I remember just a little background. Newton Theater and I go back a long way. I remember back in the 50s, my grandparents had a home at Lake Lenape, a summer home. Actually, it was a cabin, a log cabin. Yes. No, real logs and everything. Yeah. And I mean, maybe there'd be a rainy day when I was up there staying. Maybe a Saturday it was raining, and Granddad would come over and tell me I'd be, working on eating some waffles that Grandma made or something. And he said, "Look, it's going to rain all day. You want to? I'll chip in for you to go to the movies up in Newton if you like." So I have to head up that way anyway. I'll drop you off, and then when you think the show's over, I'll come pick you up. What do you say? That way you're not sitting around the house bored. I said, "Well, yeah. What's playing at the theater?" Granddad said, "Gee, I don't. Let me look on the." He looks in the paper there. He says, "I don't know, some movie called Godzilla and the Mysterians." I said, "Well, the Mysterians and Godzilla? That's a double header." "Oh yeah, sure." Granddad said, "Well, here's 50 cents. You got a quarter to get in and 25 cents for snacks, popcorn and stuff." I said, "Well, that's more than enough, thank you." And it was. I actually had money left over. And he dropped me off, and I'd sit there in that theater and just have myself a ball. Me and about 19,000 other kids. And it's lucky the theater's still standing to this day. And yeah, it was pandemonium, as you can imagine. Well, it was, but it was fun, and you went and you had yourself a blast. I think it's up on Spring Street in the county seat of Sussex County, Newton. Pretty cool place. Pretty cool place. And eventually it closed down. The movie theater closed down. People, I guess, just stopped going to the movies. That or they went to the movies at the mall or the bigger theaters, the fancy schmancy ones. And the Newton Theater just went the way of all flesh. I remember driving by it many a day, looking at it. Oh, geez, it's empty. I even did a cruise night on Spring Street in Newton, right off the square. And the theater would be empty, and I'd say, "Gosh, this is awful. It's such a beautiful." I remember it being a nice theater, and I remember one of the town coordinators said, "Yeah, you're right. It was gorgeous." He said, "I hear tell there's a guy's going to come in, and a group or whatever, and they're gonna rebuild it and use it for concerts and stuff." And I said, "Movies too, maybe?" He says, "I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but he says there is talk they're going to redo it." Now that was about, probably 10, 15 years ago now, something like that. And well, lo and behold, the theater's been spiffed up like you wouldn't believe, and it's been a mecca for many, many music acts to come in and strut their stuff at a reasonable price for all to see. There's the one thing I've noticed is from meeting many, many musicians. Many of them are absolutely fantastic. They'll probably never be famous because maybe they don't have the right agent or the right connections or whatever. But they're still fantastic musicians, and you just can't believe the talent they have. And they put on some really good acts. And then there's also famous people that were famous. Maybe now they're somewhat in a retirement. Well, they like to get out and sing still, and you get to, the Newton Theater has a lot of those people. The new Newton Theater has lots of people coming, putting on shows there, and they're fantastic shows at very reasonable prices. I know once I was at the Chatterbox DJing, and a guy comes over to me, a young fella, and he says, "Doc, here," he said, "I'm going to be doing a show at the Newton Theater. I recreate Buddy Holly, and we got a show I'm going to be doing down there at the theater with the Big Bopper. We got a fellow who can really recreate the Bopper, and I think and he said we have a Richie Valens. Would you like to go to the show?" I said, "I can't. It's Saturday night. I'm at the Chatterbox." But he says, "Well, here, take the tickets. Here's a few of them. Give a few away here today, and I'd be very appreciative. And I said, well, could I maybe keep two for my brother and his wife? And because he's a real Buddy Holly fan, my brother. And the guy said, yeah, sure, of course, knock yourself out. Thank you. And you'll talk me up. I said, darn right I will. I'd love to see that show. Well, I talked it up. The tickets got given away. People grinning with those tickets in hand. A day or two after the show, my brother called me up. He said he and his wife had the best darn time. It was a fantastic show. He said the guy was a world class Buddy Holly impersonator. He was just, he had it down. Everything. He said and it was all done live. He says he never saw such a wonderful show. And then I think the theater had some guys in who could redo the Beatles. And that was, Eddie went to that. My brother went to that. And he said, whoa, whoa. He said, just gave you chills. And to see them. Well, that's the Newton Theater now. I know that theater, I'd say for a couple of decades, it was totally empty. It was somewhat of an eyesore, I'll tell you the truth. I remember I'd drive by it and I'd say, boy, I wish someone had fixed that theater. It was such a nice place. Well, trust me, some guy came in, took good care of, put it all back together and then some. And it's fantastic. You've really got to go see it. Check it on the web. I know you can, I'm sure you can Google and find out all you need to know. And some of the photos of the place, just the photos alone will make you want to go. It's absolutely stunning the way they've done it, redone it. You can go to info at thenewtontheater.com for one thing. And let's see. By the way, they spell theater. I wouldn't spell theater this way, but evidently this is how you do it. I think I'd get an F. The Newton Theater, okay, Theatre. Isn't it supposed to be ER? Well, anyway, maybe that's a fancy way of spelling it. Maybe it's Old English. I don't know. Theatre. The Newton, Newton, the newtontheater.com, and see what you can do about getting some tickets for shows there. They do have wonderful shows. I know for a while, I think they had an internet radio broadcast emanating from the place, and I think they put on, besides music shows, all sorts of other things of interest to audiences. It's a pretty cool theater. I know they were nice enough. One day I was DJing a car show for the town of Newton on Spring Street, and they were nice enough to let me play. I could say I played the Newton Theater, but I was outside on the sidewalk under the marquee, sheltered from the sunlight, so my records wouldn't warp. They were nice enough to let me use their power, too. And I know I went inside a couple of times to check the power cord, and man, that's someplace. That's all I can say. Now, another thing, when you go to the site, newtontheater.com, okay, they've got something going where evidently theaters can get some help from I believe, from the government. I may have the details wrong, but the theater could use money. It could use money. Nowadays, people aren't necessarily going to the theater that, as much as you might want, and they could use some help, I guess, from the government for various things. You can say, evidently there's a way to send a letter to your members of Congress to help. Evidently there's a bill in Congress, and if you can help them, I know they'd like that. And honestly, it would be really a shame to see that theater, have any kind of financial trouble. Frankly, the more they take in, the better it's going to be for the community and many musicians. I know there's musicians out there, friends. Not everyone's going to be famous, to the point where they're playing football stadiums and stuff, or the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And yet there are people out there that are fantastically talented, and they deserve to be seen for all the good work they've done. Here's some of the shows. There's evidently going to be a Stephen Marley show, George Winston, Tusk, the tribute band, Eagle Mania, an Eagles tribute. Can you imagine the Airplane family and friends? I guess that's Jefferson Airplane. You can get tickets. Roger McGuinn, Croce plays Croce. Yeah, Jim Croce, one of the great talents. Oh my God, so many good songs. And you see what I'm saying? It's a wonderful place. Okay, Spring Street in Newton. Check it out. And again, it's Newton Theater, but it's Theatre. Go figure. I guess that's how you spell it. No, spelling wasn't my big thing. Thank God for spell check. Anyway, so there you go. I hope this helps them out. They are very, very worthy people. And from what I gather, good folks. Okay, maybe you can help them out. Again, the newtontheater.com. I'm sure there'll be information on how you can, put the kind of, twist the arm of your particular congressman to give them help. Okay, we'll see you later, friends. Thank you. God bless.